Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. So mid-sip, I wanted to share with you guys, I had mentioned this book before, but I finally got the opportunity to dive into it. And it is Peaceful Parenting, 10 Essential Principles. I honestly was drawn to this book in a thrift store because I love the font. I'm a big calligraphy fan. I've always liked feather pens and ink and things like that. So I was like, oh, what's this book about? And then the title also stood out. Peaceful is just one of those words that, or peace is just one of those words that it's, it's such a coincidence. It's like a deja vu moment. It's like, all these synchronicities and like just all this like, oh my God, peace is one of my words. And ironically, it is one of my fiance's words, which was another like, sign that was like, okay, that's a good thing. Because I like, it's good to focus on peace. And when peace is like one of your foundational words, is just a good sign. So, I had a lot of high hopes for this book off the break. But also, too, when I got into it, what I really, really loved and what I really, really appreciated is that it really is a self-care and a self-discovery journey, because you cannot control your children, because you are not here, you were not brought here and they were not brought through you to be a vessel of dominance, of, do as I say, and, fear, putting fear in them to protect them, putting your baggage, your unrealistic expectations, your pride, and your, what people are going to say and think on them too. This book really, just before I even got to chapter 1, so in the introduction and the foreword, it was just kind of like such a page turner. And she really talks about it being more about how you think, what you prioritize, what is important, who are you beyond your children, why you do what you do, why you think what you think. And being that she is a Christian, she keeps it so, again, about the power of the mind, the power of your thoughts, the power of your intention, the power of having the practice of the self-care and the self-love. Oh, it's so good. She has, like, in the overview, step 1, deciding where you are headed. I've talked about this. Where do you see your life going? And beyond your children, because your children are going to choose their own path. And I think a lot of parents have so much in stake. Do they want the best? Absolutely. But it can't be, channeled through your children to the extent where it's like, if they do choose another path, they have failed, or you have failed them, or they are embarrassment to all these different factors. And I think going through a book like this when your children are young, before they get to teenage years, you know what they say, the time to prepare is not when, a world pandemic hits. It's not when the stocks drop. It's not when the gas prices go up. It's not when you lose your job. It's not when your child, like in this book, is, mid-teens and starts making her own decisions and telling you what she's gonna do. That's not the time to really start trying to get your mind right and get it together and figure out what the heck. It's when they're in your womb. It's when they're crawling around. It's when they're toddling around, when they're first learning their words, when they're, when they first start saying no, when they get to the age where they're going to preschool or grade school, and they're like, I don't want to wear that. I don't want to wear socks with my rain boots. I don't want my hair like this, mommy. I don't want to eat my vegetables. I don't want to, major stuff that it's like, oh my God, it's not a toy. It's not a possession. It is a living, breathing little mini person that has their own feelings, thoughts, and emotions, and they want to be treated as such. And I remember when I was coming up. And it's like, you don't know how to express yourself. You don't know how to say, yeah, but, and not that you know it all, not that you're not wrong, but there's a way to understand each other. And I think the old way of parenting is, ask me no questions and do as I say. It's a lot of danger in that. It's just like, I'll use sleepovers for an example. I've always explained to my daughters that, as backwards as it is and as unfair as it seems, I can take a risk more on you being under this roof and someone coming here than for you to be out there and I not be able to protect you. Now, other parents may not see the threat and harm in that. It's just a sleepover, but I know on 2 different occasions, I was so thankful that I didn't bend my rules because my gut and my intuition says, I just don't know. And so with sleepovers, you just never know who was in and out of people, who was in and out of people's homes. So I'll give you 2 examples. The neighbor who we had gotten very close, she had asked me to do favors and house watch for her. She had definitely come through for me. Let's say in the evenings, if the babysitter was running late and I had to go, my children would sit with her just for a hot second until the babysitter got there. And I would let my children, like when the weather was cold, play in their home for whatever. I'd also always let Autumn go with her sister. Come to find out, she had a brother living in the basement, and this brother was a little off. Now, I'm not trying to, insinuate anything, but that was definitely like, well, I don't know this man. I don't know what play toys and play sets are in the basement in his living space. I don't know if he's one of those type of dudes that don't see no harm and walk around in his boxers around his sister. I don't know if he's one of those dudes that, I just don't know. I don't know if he's one of those dudes that smokes in the house, drinks in the house, lets his boys come through the house and traipse down in the basement and hang out with him. You just don't know. And instead of getting to know him and asking all these questions and, going over there just to check things out, my rule was you're not sleeping anywhere. Okay? Because it takes such a split second for something irreversible to happen that scars someone that could have been prevented because of just a lifestyle of self-control, a lifestyle or what am I trying to say? Like, not always giving yourself over to what you feel you want to do or what is fun in the moment or what's the harm. Let's just go with the flow. And, they seem like nice people. Now, the second time with that same individual was she moved to Maryland with us and she lived with a boyfriend. Again, I have moved on with my life and I live with my fiance, but I know my fiance and I've had so many opportunities to make sure. Yes, baby. I'm congested.
Your paper pen.
Oh, cool. What's this, Band-Aid? A little Band-Aid? Aww. It's cute. Okay. We'll get to cutting. All right. You're welcome.
What are you doing?
Making a YouTube video. Bye.
Okay.
You want the world to see your little PJs? So the second example was the same individual moved in with a boyfriend. And a couple references to the boyfriend where it wasn't like, they're having all these issues. Who doesn't have issues? But I was like, don't know this man, never met him, whatever. And so it's like, again, I'm just going to just play it safe. Last example was my daughter's school friend. Nice family, nice house, nice neighborhood. But the oldest son, who was like 16, 17, ended up being very mentally unstable. And the first red flag was him bullying his sister and the sister telling my daughter about it. And I was like, well, I'm sure the parents will handle it. Just little stuff, but still stuff that I'd be like, at that age, he shouldn't be acting like that. So it wasn't anything that I felt like, okay, but it was just weird, Yes, brothers pick on little siblings, but not to that extent. So that was my first thing, like, well, I'm sure her parents will handle it. Autumn's telling me this. Then the boy runs away, and he's gone for all these days, and the police come to the house, and it's all this drama around this boy. And I'm like, okay, he's very unstable. And what would lead him to run away? What is the issue? Even though he does have another mother, whatever. And the icing on the cake was this end up having this big fight. He put a hole in the wall. He assaulted the father, and the father had to go to the hospital. I'm like, because let that be the weekend that I say, fine, okay, because I don't want to be that mom that's no fun. I don't want to be that mom that's, not with the current times. All the kids do sleepovers. What's the harm in that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not following my gut, not trusting, how I was raised with that foundation, not trusting what I know about just some people. Unless you truly know them, you got to build relationships. You have to. It takes years to get to know people. It takes years to just feel them out, look them in the eyes, and know what they stand for, know what they're all about. You know what I mean? And when you can tell the parents that are just like, I'll die for mine, and I don't go for that. This is a no-nonsense household, and this house is locked down. This house is a house that's built on standards. This house is a house that's built on value, and everything just doesn't go. You can just tell. So a lot of willy-nilly stuff with and even the brother who, again, there's nothing wrong with letting your brother live with you. I'm not saying that, but some of the comments that she had made about him not being responsible and how long was he going to be there and all those things, and him being younger, and you just never know. And again, I don't have a relationship with him. I've never met him. I've never even seen him. So, coming and going, so all these little things, when you have a gut feeling, when you maybe you can't even explain why you feel the way you feel. Maybe you can't even, justify it, but you just know, I'd just rather be safer than sorry. Both of those instances, I'm so glad I am not in a place where I have allowed my children to be in positions where they are unsafe and compromised because I did not follow my gut. Now, when they get of age, my hope is that through our communication and through our relationship and through their trust with knowing that I want the best for them, and I don't want to keep them from fun. I'm not trying to keep them from pleasure and experiences and all these things that I have experienced. You will have your whole life to do sleepovers, but what you will find, which was what I found, is that when you step over the threshold of someone's house, everybody don't live like you live. Everybody don't clean like you clean. Everybody don't cook how you cook. Everybody doesn't have a boundary around visitors and who can come and who can go and all these different things. And you will see and you will know by your feeling what you're comfortable with. And my hope is that the seeds will be planted with that as an example of what you will allow in your life. And so you will be of an age where like, no, thank you. Because I have a home, I have a house, I have an apartment, whatever. We can hang out, and then when it's time to go home and I'm ready to go home, I can go home. Or boys coming over. No, you're not coming up laying up with me. This is not that type of sleepover. This is not that type of party. If you want to have your girlfriends over, and that's all. That's so and it it's innocent. It can be funny. You can do spa night. Yeah. And, even when I would meet other parents and, sleepovers is fine. I'm like, sometimes I think, I'm glad that you trust me and I'm glad that, that's something that you're open to, but you don't know me. You don't know me. So I would not take offense if you were like, let's do dinner sometime. Let's have a couple phone conversations. Let's build this relationship of trust so that we can see where you live, how you live, what the vibe is in your house, what the energy is in your house, what you go for, you know what I mean? Like, I would not be offended, but a lot of parents don't. They just, oh yeah, just let me know. That'd be cool. And it's like, it's not cool. And Autumn's like, oh, mommy, can she please come over? Can she spend the night? And I'm like, yeah. And just like, I would never forgive myself if something happened to my children beyond my my ability to protect them. Like, I never was the type of mom to drop them off at gym, class, any kind of lesson. I was that mom, like, look, I got my bag, I got my snacks, I got my coffee, I got my notebooks, I got my ear pods. I will be fine waiting this hour, hour and a half for them to finish up. It wasn't until Autumn got much older and I gave her a cell phone and we had these hard conversations about people touching you. What is uncomfortable? What is inappropriate? What is not normal? That I was like, you need to know this. No, we're not fearing every man. No, we're not fearing, people's evil intentions and thinking that everyone is out to get us and prey on us. But this is a part of the world that we live in. Not America, but everywhere. So you have to know that I don't want you to be in fear, but I want you to be smart. Just like you don't want to, put in their head that like cars are dangerous and cars are bad. But you do want them to respect that a vehicle has a certain speed that is powerful and that, any little minor thing can take a life. So you have to respect it within that parameter. But are friendships bad? Are sleepovers bad? Are getting together with people and things like that bad? No. And should we be in fear? No. And so the same responsibility that I feel when, if I like the guilt and that like, okay, it's like I'm on high alert with my own children is how I feel when I have someone else's children, yeah, in my home sleeping under my roof. Like that's not the night that I'm drinking wine and blasting music and just in here just chilling. I'm like, okay. And then I constantly keep a open communication with the parents. And sometimes they don't even get back to me. They're like, okay, lady, I trust you. And I'm like, again, I'm really glad that you do, but this is for me. Because this is like, I just don't play with that. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, let's say one time we did, we took the kids to Kings Dominion, and then we, stopped and got something to eat, and then we got home, and it was a long day. So, play by play, I'm like, okay, we got to the park. Okay, we're leaving the park. Okay, now we're on the road. Now we're feeding them. Now we're at the house. I'm going to let them stay up till about whatever, and then they're going to go to bed. Okay, now she's up. Now, what time are we doing the drop off? You know what I mean? And then I'm like, do you want to check in with mom? Are you okay? Oh my God, last story. One time I had a little girl here and, well, not here, but at my other house before we lived here. And she came in my room and was standing over my bed. It was like something out of a horror movie. And I'm a light sleeper because of my children. And I opened my eyes. I said, honey, are you okay? How long have you been standing there? And she was like, I can't sleep and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, like what's wrong? And I text her mother, not at 3 a.m, but in the morning, like, hey, she didn't sleep too good. And, I did this, tried that, talked to her, blah, blah. And she was like, oh my God, oh, she'll be fine. I forgot to mention this was her first sleepover. And I was like, her first sleepover? Don't be dumping that on me, and don't be dumping that on her. Did you ask her this what she wanted to do? Is this like, why? You need to ease in with that if you do want to do that with the grandparents, with cousins, aunties, somebody, not just me, because I am, as far as a total pole of relationships, I'm way down here. I am the neighbor's, I'm the neighbor. So why you do that girl like that? You know what I mean? I thought that was a little, but again, I'm not coming for anybody's parenting opinions and, how they feel and how they approach things. Yes, sometimes kids need to just be thrust into it and they'll be okay. They're champs, they're survivors, just throw them out there and let them figure it out. But some things, some things just need to be, But back to this book. Let me tell you, I'm going to spoil it. Let me tell you about, so the last part of the book is real life application. So that's good. What to do with the information that you just read, how to make the change. And a final word is entitled, Is It Too Late? But, spoiler alert, the principles are connect to your creator. And I like that she kept that very open for whatever path you walk. This is not a super, okay, you got to be a one faith kind of book. And she acknowledges that. She says, even though I am a Christian, these are principles that are really universal. Well, she didn't say it like that, but so connect to your creator. Know your true identity. I have touched on that. You cannot just be a mother. Yes, it is a huge fabric of your life, but you are not just a mother. And your children, okay? Nurture awareness. Breathe, respect, practice gratitude. Ooh. Limit judgments. Detach. Ooh. Communicate clearly and forgive quickly. Now, how many times have we as children, I say we, your inner child, have had to forgive our parents? The moments when I had to look at my oldest in the eyes and say, Mommy is so sorry. And I want you to know that I didn't intentionally make this mistake, but I do make mistakes and I will make mistakes. And we do make mistakes because we are human, but it never was intentional. And I need you to know that everything I do is for you, but I am not perfect. That is so hard. And then to give her time to process. As I have told people, you better let me process. You better let me come to a place where I can say, okay, I'm over it. Or maybe I'm not over it, but we can move past this in this moment. Forgive quickly is really powerful. And this is not so much when she makes her biblical references. It isn't from the standpoint of how a lot of us were raised, which were with physical punishment, which were with a lot of verbal things, with a lot of almost like, do they love me? Come on now. Or maybe their love language wasn't the same love language we spoke, and so we just didn't know how certain people felt. We have heard of this, a lot of unpacking, but she comes from, and look, I didn't even get to chapter 2. The overview, the introduction, and chapter 1 were so jam-packed. I was like, oh my God. So a lot of us have, and I'm glad to see it trending, healing the inner child, going to therapy, going to counseling, talking through your childhood, releasing what your parents did or did not give to you because they may or may not have had it. They may have only been going off of what little they knew, blah, 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 blah. Once you're free of that and you can decide that you can make a decision and a change on how you're going to relate to the little humans that you have brought here, that is powerful. And how it's never too late, and how, you have that capability. Regardless of your spiritual path, regardless of how old they are, regardless of how many mistakes you have made. She talks a lot about self. She talks a lot about self-care and self-love and how you think and how you feel. And then she works backwards with, in the moment that she talked about her 15-year-old told her what she was going to do and how she felt. And that was like a real hard blow for her. It was her ego, it was her emotions, it was all in her head. But wait, if I take myself out of it and think of myself and what I need in a totally different aspect, this is about her right now. How can I look at this differently? How can I move about this differently? So I recommend this book. Like I said, I'm reading through it. I didn't want this video to be too long. I definitely didn't want to spoil it, but I'm excited about the knowledge and the wisdom and yeah, really, really interesting. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I could go on and on about this topic, but don't be so hard on yourself. Please cut yourself some slack. Know that remember that life is a journey. You're ever learning. You never stop learning. And if you do stop learning, something's wrong. If you stop improving, if you stop moving up, something's wrong. I'm not talking about plateauing, and I'm not talking about enjoying the seasons of your life. I'm talking about just never, expanding mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I think books are a great way to do that. Not a post, not a meme, not a thread, really getting back to some of the nostalgic things that, not that I think books are going away, but, social media can't be our only source of knowledge and inspiration because, how much research goes into a little, 3 sentence blurb or someone just, how they feel, which not that it's not valid, but this is a life's worth of research, commitment, passion, and also too, don't forget, you can chew up the meat and spit out the bones, simply meaning you don't have to take everything that she says as law, but you can definitely take what you need, take what you want, incorporate into your life as it benefits you. But you can find something in it because we've never done this before. She has. She has 3 grown children and she has a relationship with all of them. I am trusting that is, so thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, peace. Bye.